Hey, I want to talk about valuations for a second. I'm Jennings Moss, the editor of the Upstart Business Journal, and you're watching the Chum, which is our weekly show that's all about Shark Tank. We're talking episode 7, season 6, and those valuations, 3 of them from Friday night, one at 2.6 million, one at 10 million, and the third kind of amazing at 30 million bucks. Let me talk about that $10 million company first. That would be Titin, led by Patrick Whalen. Patrick was looking for $500,000 in exchange for 5% of his company, which created these shirts that had weights in it for exercise, endurance, athletic performance, increasing all of that stuff. Now, the idea of weights on clothing is nothing new, but he had really given it a modern look and feel to it. Had some good sales last year, did 600 grand in sales. This year, in 1 month alone, had done $1 million and thought that he could get to that $10 million figure. He had some good customers, including the military and CrossFit. What he didn't have, and the obstacle that he ran into, was somebody named Mark Cuban. Mark said that his BS meter was going off. He clearly didn't trust Patrick. Mark wanted science, and Patrick offered anecdotal information. And so that's where that clash came in. And Mark even got to the point of wanting to convince his fellow sharks not to do business with this guy. But to Patrick's benefit, Damon John stepped in and did do business with him, made him an offer of $500,000 for 20% of the company, and probably more importantly than that, offered him a chance of handling all of his inventory, which is really where his problems came in. So congratulations to Patrick and to Damon. So now let's talk about that $30 million. That was the valuation placed on a company called Singtrix out of New York City, led by two entrepreneurs, Eric Berkowitz and John Devica. Now, this was a pair that had created the wildly popular Guitar Hero game in the last decade. Now, they had sold that game to Activision and made a fair amount of money, and now they were in front of the sharks with their new company, which was a high-tech karaoke machine that could make even the worst singers sound good. And I'm a pretty bad singer, so I'm kind of curious to hear how it would work in my voice. Plus, it had a whole bunch of other sound effects with it, too. The Sharks were clearly interested. They got 4 offers pretty quickly, including a couple that involved royalty and perpetuity and a couple of words that I really like to hear in the tank. In the end, though, they were looking for 1.5 million in exchange for 5% of their company. They countered all of these offers and said, how about 1.5 for 7% of the company? So not that much give on equity, and with that, all 4 of those offers disappeared, and they walked away without a deal. Now, for my lessons of the night, the first one would go to Beardbrand. This was a company led by Eric Bandholz. Eric had been in the financial services industry, but they wouldn't let him grow a beard. And so he dropped out of that, started to grow his beard, started to develop his own company, had sort of high-end beard care products to tap into the whole beard craze that's going on in a lot of portions of the country right now. The lesson here is that you can actually create a company and a brand off of something that you love, off of a passion play, and that was definitely what Eric's game here was. He clearly loved what he was doing, loved the product that he had, and really enjoyed getting out there and dealing with his customers. He didn't exactly win a shark over, but no surprise there because none of the sharks have beards, so a little bit of a hard sell, but a definite lesson there for the rest of us about following passion. Now, lastly, the last lesson would go for Myself Belts, a company led by Talia Goldfarb. Now, Talia's valuation was very different from the others. It was much more reasonable. She was looking for $60,000 in exchange for 10% of her company, so that put it at about $600,000 for a valuation. The company was 10 years old, and they had created this line of belts for toddlers that they could do it themselves, that they could cinch it themselves after going to the bathroom and pulling up their own pants. Nice, cute product. And definite some longevity there. The problem, according to the sharks, was that she didn't have enough hustle. And I think here's a lesson that we can all take away from this. She came into the tank looking for a strategic partner to make some of those difficult calls, to call some retailers and other people to grow her business. And they made the point, look, you need to do that yourself. You can't rely on us to do all of that for you. You've got to get in and do that. And I think that's the big takeaway for any entrepreneur. We can't rely on a venture capitalist to come in and save the day, or an angel investor to come in and do all the heavy lifting. If you're going to come in looking for a strategic advisor, you still have got to be able to do the work and to come in and to execute on that. Fortunately for Talia, she was able to get a deal. Damon came in again because he liked her and he liked the brand and the product that she had created. And gave her an offer of $75,000 for 25% of the company, which Talia accepted. So congratulations to them. That's it for this episode of The Chum. Thanks for watching. Tune into Shark Tank on Fridays at 9 o'clock. Come back and watch The Chum the following Monday. And for a daily fix of entrepreneur and startup news, check out upstartbusinessjournal.com. Thanks.